is Jessica Holyfield. I'm a professional dancer, professional dance choreographer, and dance educator based out of the southeast of the United States. And it looks like we're going to be taking a look at 17's Oh My Dance Practice Fix version. I love these versions because we don't get to see any weird cuts. Hopefully, I get to see it all in one take. Really fun. Get to see all the intention of the formations, dynamics, levels, what have you, as well as some of their energy. Based on the video, it does look like they are in the practice room, and they always are a ham and a half when they are in the practice room. So I cannot wait to check it out. Let's take a look. This is so fun. That literally feels like a game. Wow. That was fun. Hey, hey. Hey. That was cute. They were playing headphones there. That was super fun. Definitely more of a cuter concept here. Fun. That was cool. It's a nice little moment there. Hey! That was great placement of their features for that. This whole set little bit right here is freaking cool. Hey! Interesting that he was able to convert that in the lower half very well. Look at that very simple box step. Oh, so fun. Hey, hey, hey. That's so interesting though that he played the guitar and Lily was playing the guitar, but it was a piano sound. Interesting there. I think that was the end of it, yeah? Cute. That was so cute. I'm gonna be honest though, I do think that was one of their not cleanest run-throughs of a concept. Now, it's still pretty clean because it just showcases the caliber of their synchronicity of it. This one doesn't feel as refined as those. So I'm gonna kind of talk through that of what sections really feel that to be. I think with this, when they're switching lines, it's really fun as they step. Not everybody is stepping at the right time or landing at the right time, things like that. And I think it's a lot of calibration where it really does feel like they're playing a game almost. Yeah, like even here when you notice, it looks like he's controlling them from the top. That's such a fun gimmick to see there. Moving them over and having everybody turn over, and they step and they turn. Yeah, and I think I counted 13, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then there's 9 in the line. So, but it's nice to have your feature in the center doing the knock, and they all use their bodies to accent it. Those are really great moments, having one person feature out from the side, having everybody hang out on the sides as well. I think this is also one of the first times where we see them kind of disengage from the sides compared to what we saw in their earlier videos. So that's something interesting too to note, just seeing as they grow and get older, just noticing how they even change on the sides. You know, like they're having conversations over here. They're kind of just doing what they need to do, run through. Shout out to the album being their center point. Really fun. Your feature up, accenting with the hands as everybody else is dropped down. Because there's a lot of bounces or a lot of those types of quick bounce, not boxer bounce, I wouldn't really say, but lighter on your feet kind of bounces with the balls of the feet. It is harder to be able to actually match each other on that whenever we're so used to them having a deeper grounded bounce that they're used to calibrating to. I like this though. What's fun is I know with this, it kind of looks like they're in trouble, you know, because they have to hold their ears and do the walk. Do a duck walk like that whenever I think in a lot of media, like school, like TV shows or movies or shows that showcase school life, when they get in trouble, they do stuff like that. So I think that's kind of fun seeing that here. Bringing it back down, and I think a lot of their movement, because they're stuck in these columns, it doesn't feel as loud or as extroverted, and so that's why it kind of feels a little more restrictive as well. But I do like it though. It's fun. It matches the vibe, really tying in the grid work transitions really well. It's just fun, and having him control them there is really fun. Bringing down to the front. Just having one moment, they're all on the side vibing out, which this is different. They're vibing out here, but in the beginning, they kind of just looked like they were disconnected just for a second, which is something we're not used to seeing from them here. Having one of them stay down as his feature versus everybody be up and then drop is nice. So them using their hands, really great intricacies with their hands here. That right there, with the accent of the legs, fun. It's chill. This, I love this groove here. Boom. Yeah, it feels like they all learned the choreography, but they didn't clean it, is what it looks like, which just shows like their fingerprints and how they vibe well. I think they focus more on the formations than they did on the cleanliness of the content, meaning that everyone's doing the same thing. Counts are established, but the range is way more off here on getting from point A to B, and the timing to get into that is just not nearly as refined as what we're used to in some of their more difficult or more like neurotic concepts. Neurotic meaning more on the negative emotional side. Those tend to be more like the angstier ones tend to have more accents with reverbs, and they have tension that's built up throughout. Here, it feels like it's been a hot minute for them to get back to this type of concept. It's because we saw this near more so the beginning of their debut, but they've been doing more serious based concepts, at least for the Korean market during this era, at least if I'm going in the right order. That's how it comes across. So I think it's kind of like we're getting back into it, having a nice little fun theatrical performance. It's still really fun, but just I think it's taking a second for some of them to get back into that pocket of this concept. But it's really fun though. I really like having them all go separate ways, but then having your group of 5 establish themselves towards the front. I think I'll also say this too, there's not nearly as much theatrical interaction in this piece like we normally see for a concept like this. So I'm wondering if that's just, you know, Alchona, I think is the name of it. I think it's just like, maybe that's part of the vibe of it. Maybe the era of which this was filmed, not sure. But they do feel more, it's not disconnected from your features and everybody else. It just feels like they're not as connected. They are connected, but not nearly as much as we're used to seeing, is what I'm seeing here, which is why I like the fact I'm going in order. So I wouldn't have been able to note that or notice that had I gone in a different order. So I think that's kind of cool. And I think that's totally fine. We're actually just seeing the different seasons of the group. Like, they're not going to be up here all the time. There are going to be moments where they're kind of right here, up, and then they're going to drop down. And that just shows the healthiness of a group. I love bringing the feature back in. Very chill here. Like, a lot of these quick movements, they just don't feel as refined. It could be because of their outfits. That's another thing to factor in, too. Like some of them are taking a very strong approach and others are taking a more laid back approach that does factor into the torso. It factors into how you strike with the arm as you meld it down. Some of them have tension in their shoulders. I would say my guy right here has more tension in his shoulders. His was pressed out a little bit more. He took a more chill approach. So there was just 3 different approaches happening, which doesn't make it as refined. Love having the tap down to the new feature, breaking down for a new group of 5. But even here as they rock back, range is slightly off. But I love that boom boom reactions. Having everybody drop down to the side is super fun. Yeah, that boom da da. I do feel like some of the because of the formation, there's a really good chance that it does, because I already said this, that it's pretty restrictive and or at least they feel more muted in some of these grooves. So that's why it kind of feels it's difficult to refine the range of them, because it's so subtle. But not subtle in the intricacy way, but subtle in the, this groove is normally done bigger and fuller, but we're seeing it smaller. And so there's more room for error in getting them all cohesive to that. So I think that's what I'm noticing more than anything. I freaking love this section though. It was so fun. They went ding, 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 and they peel up with the poses. Then they grab their hands and they use them like earphones and headphones, which is really fun. And then they creating a moment over on this side. They're looking at it, responding to it, pointing up, then having your new feature, everybody else chilling out, looking around, da-da-da, da-da-da. This is a really fun interaction, but it feels more placed, right? It's not like the extras theatrical like what we're used to seeing this one feels more subdued, but it's still really fun though. And it's nice to see them back in this concept. This is just fun. Da-da-da-da-da. Some people use more of their chest and some of them use their hips. That's another example. I would say those that are lower, harder for them to use the hips. So my guys that are standing use their hips more. That's just a natural thing that happens. Yeah. And then whenever they're here, they just kind of do it and just let whatever happen. And I think that could also be just, there's not as much clarity on what body parts are supposed to be engaged in each focal point. And that's what affects your cleanliness as well. With the heart, da-da-da. I love that. Do-do-do, do-do-do. Bringing it to the other side, building it up ever so slightly, but still incorporating textures from the previous section. That right there, picking it up from the foot and then dragging it over as a fixed point with the shoulder. Really fun there. Now having a new feature integrated by bleeding them over or rotating them was a really fun choice. With the tap, they look down. The only one who doesn't was your feature. Great choice there. He just looks so happy. They all turn around and they go down, still having one person featured, then a new person featured, and they have this penguin side to side walk, which is really fun. With a tap of the foot, bigger, they're more spread out, and then your feature in the center is the only one who really didn't pull and go through it because he's singing, so that makes sense. Blading through, really fun. That boom doo 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 doo, fun. Na na na. Really still. Now, normally be like, you see people really go for like a Dougie, but it just feels more placed, you know? But, so maybe that's what they're going for, but a lot of it's really muted. That was fun. Boom, dee-dee-dee, with the double here on the elbow. Boom, dee-dee-dee. Kind of, it's not revving of the wrist, it's like revving of the elbow, which I really liked. Coming up, pulling it, and letting it go. Small and effective. I love it. Na, na, na. That was fun with the 3 knocks. They go knock, 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 reacting with the body. Fun. This right here, this section near the tail end is probably my favorite section of the whole thing. I love it. Yeah. Build it up. Then, your next feature's in the middle. Boom, boom, double time. Let's go. Melt it down. That was fun. They all go down. The wave. Look at these waves that are about to happen here. That right there. Boom. And then they like do it in a way. I don't even know if I could show it. Boom. And then they melt it in. Normally I see people wave it in like this, but because they all did the same thing, that's why it looks really cool. They go in. I guess that would be my one note is refine the wave as you do that fixed point of energy is right here, like melting it into the side. So that's super fun to see that though, having your feature kind of have somebody frame with that and then they control them as they go across. They build it up. 5, 6, 7, and then they go boom here, and then they're here. They're like, oh, but it feels more cordial, not like eager. I guess that's what makes sense. Then having your dancer come up, doing a baby threading motion here, then establishing an extra level with your other with your other guy that frames in mirror, but notice he's lower, but he lifts his elbows up, which makes him look higher. Then you have your secondary, and then you have your top part. So I really like that. That's super fun. They all bleed towards each other. They kind of scoot in to face their feature. Love that. Great way to frame them with your levels. Then they all move to another spot, still having 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 on 6 doing it with your feature. Really fun. Yeah, do, because with this, some people are kind of hitting it and bringing it up on the side, and some are pulling it back on the elbow. So those are little details where the angle of the elbow is a little off, but it's still really fun. I like the fact that they have one of their features down on the ground while everybody else is up. I think that's super fun to see. Na, na, na. That was just that's just, it's simple and effective as they get to their spot. Great transition step. This is, so that's called a box step. In studio technique terms, it is called a jazz square, but how they're hitting it is kind of like just a walk in the woods, feigning just lackadaisical joy is really what it feels like. And it's because of the swing with the turnout of the wrist. It's just cheerful, peppy. And then they hit it down a little bit more groovy, which I like because they added that bounce back into it. Then they transition, he sits down, then they go hop, hop, and they may go in a whole circle, and then they drop down. He twiddles it. It's interesting that he does it like, pop it like a piano. That's just my one note, is that instrument was not the right instrument for me, unless they know it was a modified guitar that sounded very close to a piano. But that was really fun. It was tasteful. I like the graphic that introduces and takes away. It was fun, very colorful. Do I think that it was just, it felt like 17, which I really liked. I do feel, I kind of already mentioned it throughout the analysis, but we all saw a lot more, like they have matured a little bit. They don't have as much that puppy dog, gangaji kind of impulsive interactions like what we were used to seeing, but it's still really fun to see them really dive into these types of concepts and just really showcase their discography multiple years, not just in the beginning. It's this era and like here, and then we're gonna completely ignore that era and do something else. Like we're able to see them keep doing a lot of these concepts throughout, and I'm very excited for that. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope I was helpful in some way. Definitely enjoying my time with 17, and I know I'm not even halfway through, which makes me really excited to see what else is in store. I know some of the heavy hitter routines are more in their recent years, so I do have a long way to go, but I'm excited to kind of catch up on the essence and what makes 17 who they are. So in hopes that whenever I get to those heavier hitting routines, I can truly appreciate them for what they are. Maybe catch Easter eggs, fingerprints of other aesthetics that I've seen in the past. But anyway, if you want to see more 17 content, more dance content in general, I have it all over YouTube and Patreon. Everything is early release like this video on Patreon, and there is more 17 where that came from. If this is your first video with me, I am Jess, and I will catch you on the flip side. Bye.